Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In today's Design Space tutorial, I'm going to show you how to cut a flower image into sections and then add other images to the side to create fun new designs like the one you can see on the screen with the sunflower and the butterflies. Although I've done butterflies, you can choose whatever image you want to go on the side of the flower, so you can create something really individual based on the person that it is that you're making the design for. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is choose our flower and then cut half of it out to leave space for the images to put around the edge. You can either load in an SVG that you found online or go into Images and find a flower that you'd like to use. I'm going to show you how to do two different types of flower as part of this tutorial. So I've typed in flower already and it's given me loads of different ones to choose from, so you can scroll through until you find a shape that you're happy with. I'm just going to go right back up to the top and choose this one. So this will be the first flower that I choose. And this one's a silhouette. It's just one layer and it doesn't have a circle in the middle or anything. So we're going to have to add that ourselves. The second one I'm going to choose is a sunflower design. So that's this one here. And if you want to use this exact one, the number is MB534769. And I like this one because it's a sunflower, so it matches the other designs like this you see online, and also it already comes with the centre and the petals are all separate, so I think it's going to look nicer when we put all the separate images with it, but I'll show you how to do both. So I'll insert those in here we go, and make them a bit bigger so you can see. This sunflower one I'll show you first because it's going to be easiest. All of the petals and the middle are all separate, and the middle is its separate layer by itself, so we don't need to do anything to that. That's going to stay exactly as it is. But for the petals, because each petal is a separate kind of section, it's got the white between it, it means we can click into contour down on the bottom right and then zoom out to see the whole flower. And then just hide the petals we don't want to appear by clicking on them. So once that's done, simply hit the X button, and now that sunflower is all ready for us to add the butterflies to. So that one was really nice and easy. Just going to move it out the way and get this flower. This one's a little bit more different. It's only one layer and it's all connected, which means we can't use the contour tool at the moment. It also doesn't have a circle in the middle, so we're going to have to add that, and that's the bit we're going to do first. Go into Shapes and choose Circle. Draw a circle that's slightly bigger than you want the middle to be, and this is the bit that's going to be cut out. Right click and then press Duplicate to make another circle, and make this one a little bit smaller. This is one that's actually going to be the circle which we'll cut out, so I'm going to make it a nice bright colour so it's nice and obvious. I want to make sure that these circles are exactly in the middle of the flower, so to do that, select all the layers by clicking and dragging around them, or you can click each one in your layers panel on the right and press Ctrl on your keyboard to select multiple layers. Go into the Align tool at the top and then press Center. And that's shifted things around a bit, so now those circles are exactly in the middle of my flower. I need to slice the bigger circle out of the flower to create the cutout effect. So to do that, select the big circle in your layers panel, hold down Ctrl on your keyboard and choose the main flower. Down the bottom, press Slice. And what that's done, if I hide these two top layers that have appeared, is it's cut out that bit. So we've now got a nice gap. I don't need these two circles, so I'm just going to delete the layers so it doesn't get all cluttered. Next, we need to remove some of the petals, so I'm going to remove 3 of them. The neatest way to do this is a little bit time consuming, but it does make an awful lot of difference to getting a better cutout effect. Go into Shapes and choose Square. Click the padlock icon so that you can move the rectangle out of proportion and change it so that it's a nice thin line. Use the rotate tool to move it about and then place it on the flower design. I think this is a bit big. place it on the flower design where you want to cut the flower. So I'm going to put it between these two petals, and that will be my first cut. So just like we did with the middle, I'm going to choose the square we've just put on and the flower, and then press slice. I'll delete all these bits at the top that it's slice results because I don't need them. And now you can see I've got a tiny gap between those petals, so that is a good starting point for cutting up my flower. I need to do it once more down the bottom, so exactly the same thing again. Choose a square, make it thin, and then just rotate it and position it where you want to cut the flower petals. Then select the square and the flower and press slice. Delete those slice results. And now we're left with our flower that is now cut into two. So now we can select the flower and do what we did with the sunflower. Go into contour and just hide the bit that we don't want to appear. So now you can see how you can use different images in Design Space to create this cut effect on the flowers that's now ready for us to add our butterflies or other shapes to. I'm going to use the sunflower one for this tutorial, so I'm just going to hide the other one so it doesn't get in the way. And then I can move the sunflower and make it a bit bigger so it's easier to work with. I'm going to need some butterflies for this, so I'm going to go into images again and search for butterfly. You don't have to do butterflies, you can choose whatever image you want. You could do hearts or swirls or even pictures. You could do dogs or horses or something that relates to the job of the person you're making it for, or whatever it is that you want to do. As long as you can get a simple image that's going to be able to cut small, then it will work. So butterflies are a good option. And I wouldn't want to choose ones like this because they're really complex. They've got loads of tiny gaps in them, which means when I try and cut them small, my Cricut is not going to be able to do it effectively. Instead, what I want is a silhouette style image. So I'm going to choose this one on the top right, press insert, and now I've got it. I don't want two at a time, I only want one. So I'm just going to go into contour and hide the smaller one, so that I've only got one. Okay, so now it's time to start adding all of the shapes to the flower. To do this, all you need to do is move it along and then just resize and rotate to wherever you want your shapes to go. When you're ready to make a new one, right click and duplicate. And then with your duplicated one, you can change the size and the rotation to get it to fit. You want to make sure when you're adding the shapes that they don't touch each other or overlap, because that will affect how it's cut. You want them all to be nice and separate. One trick to make sure you're not putting the butterflies too far away from the flower is to go into shapes and draw a circle. Make the circle big so that it covers the flower. And then in your layers panel, click and drag it so that it's underneath everything else. And you can move it about a bit if you need to. But this gives us a good guide of where to put the butterflies. And I'm just going to make it white so that it gives me this outer line. So now I know that my butterflies need to sort of fill this circle shape without overlapping too much, although it can a little bit, and this is the area I need to fill. So here's my final design with all the butterflies. You can see I've gone outside of that circle a little bit, but in general I've kept to the edge of the circle, which means that when I then hide the circle, because I don't actually want to cut that, you've got the butterflies creating that effect on the edge of the circle, and it's looking good. It's looking all nice and balanced with the rest of the flower. So this is almost ready to cut, but if you were to click Make It Now, you'll see that all the butterflies are separate on the mat and they're not in the position that we put them in. That's not what we want. We want them to stay all connected. So to do that, select each butterfly by clicking in your layers panel with the control key on your keyboard down to select all of those butterfly layers. Once you've got them all selected, click attach down the bottom. So that's put all those butterflies together. So now when I click make it, they're all showing in the correct order. Now it's giving me a large mat at the minute because I made that sunflower really big to make it easier to see. If you need to resize it, the best thing to do first is to group all your layers together. So click on the attach bit with all the butterflies in and the sunflower and press group. Now they're all together, it means you can resize and everything will change in proportion. So you can either drag and drop with the little arrow or type into the box at the top how big you want it to go. If it gets a little bit small on the screen, just zoom in so that you can see it. And now when I click make it one final time, it's showing me the normal size mats because I've made it a sensible size, and all of the different colours are nicely attached. If you want to cut the butterflies out of the same colour as the sunflower, just click on your group where it says attach, and then either go into the thing at the top where you choose the colour and select that same colour, or if I just undo that, you can go into colour sync in the top right, drag the butterflies over onto the flower colour and then let go. Click back into layers so you can see your layers again, and then you'll need to attach the butterflies to the flower leaves, otherwise they're not going to cut in the right places again. So choose your attach with all your butterflies and then hold down control on your keyboard and choose the petals, and you'll notice it doesn't let me attach at the moment, and that's because the flower petals are in a group. So if that's the case for you, click the name of the group, so this one is sunflower, and then ungroup it. And now we can select the petals and the butterflies, and this time it will let us attach. So now when I click make it, I've got the middle separate, and then on the top that's left all of those perfectly in position, ready to cut out of the same colour. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that it's given you some ideas of how you can create these cutout effects with flowers and shapes. I release new Design Space tutorials every week, so if you like this one, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Design Space and Cricut tutorials. Thank you for watching.